Nemira. The Eagles and the Seminoles tip it away in Tallahassee, and Makayla Latson pushes tempo up the floor, misses the layup though, and ACC Central clears the board.
Nice to see Makayla Latson back in the lineup for Florida State. She missed the last game with an illness. Raring to go here today. Got to the rim there, but just a little too strong. Maybe was a little surprised at how open she was.
Meanwhile, for NC Central, the early turnover, that has been their issue so far this season. Had 33 in their last contest as Timpson's short-range attempt does everything but drop.
Yeah, those are three really good looks on the first two possessions for Florida State. And then NC Central quickly, Foster back down for the lay-in.
Shakaria Foster breaks the ice, and NC Central is on the board first. Makayla Latson nearly stripped to the basketball in front of the Eagles bench. Omaria Gordon with the left hand misses the layup, and another big rebound by the Eagles. FSU dialing up some pressure as NC Central brings it into their half-court set. Big hands of KK Timpson getting in there with a large wingspan, knocking that ball away. It will remain, though, with the Eagles.
You'll see Florida State much more aggressive on the defensive end this year. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but now you see KK Timpson out denying the passing lane, getting a hand, swatting that away from the Eagles.
2-0 NC Central in the first minute. Kyla Bryant trying to break it down, and from the free throw line, there is Morgan Callahan getting on the board.
Yeah, nice mid-range, left-handed jump shot there for the graduate senior from Beach Park, Illinois.
Good response for Florida State in their transfer from Cincinnati, Malea Williams.
Malea Williams has been a huge addition for Coach Brooke Wyckoff in this Seminoles squad. Adds some length and depth in the post position for the Noles.
Good start for the Eagles, leading by 2, trying to find a way to tack on to it. That shot is blocked. Williams got a hand on it, deflects it to Omaria Gordon, and here comes Florida State. Pull up, Gordon, too strong. It's Callahan bringing it back across. Kyla Bryant tracked it down just before it scooted across the baseline, but then promptly turns it over to Florida State. Already turnover number 2 for NC Central. Gordon comes to the jump stop, dishes to Timpson. Good offense there by Florida State. Nice find by the senior.
That's 2 seniors who have been in this Florida State program from the beginning. They know how to work together and play off each other.
Tied up 4-all. A couple of minutes in. FSU brings the double. Now inside to Callahan, couldn't get it to go.
KK Timpson in there, one of the best shot blockers in the country, challenging that shot from Callahan.
Latson lays it in and will earn a trip to the free throw line. Latson, who in her last game made 15 free throws for the Noles, gets an early look.
Such a nice crossover dribble there. Confuses the Eagle defender, then hangs in the air a little bit to finish at the rim through the contact. Latson 3rd in the country in scoring, averages 25 points a game for Florida State here early on in this season.
And she cashes in on the back end of the three-point opportunity. 7-0 run now for Florida State after the Eagles scored the first 4 of the game. And there's a turnover once again. Great defense by Omaria Gordon, taking it 1-on-2, high off the glass. Timpson there to put it back up. That ball is deflected away. Good defense by NC Central as well.
That was Jada Tiggett with the block on KK Timpson. And then Central a little too quick with that pass, couldn't connect. Will be another turnover for the Eagles, 4 to be exact, and that's something that Florida State really has ramped up that defensive pressure this year. They are forcing 21 turnovers a game so far in this season.
Florida State as a team, when you look at the turnover margin, beating teams 9.5 in that turnover margin. And I'll tell you what, this is a player, Carla Viegas, who is really getting going from beyond the perimeter.
Carla Viegas shooting it now 48% on the season. Started off slowly in the first 2 games for Florida State, but she has heated up nicely for the Noles as she knocks down a big one there. Noles nearly came up with another steal and forced another Eagles turnover. They're going to say that remains with NC Central.
And back to Viegas for a second. Tied a career-high 17 points, a career-high 5 threes in the Noles' last contest against Samford. Nearly another turnover by NC Central. Viegas comes in for the tie-up. It will remain on that end of the floor, though, with the Eagles.
Good help side defense that time by Viegas to come over and tie up Jada Tiggett.
Amaya Bonner checking in to relieve Omaria Gordon.
Nearly a 5-second violation, and then Viegas comes up with a steal.
So after the 3, Viegas going to work defensively. Nice find. Latson to Timpson down in the low post.
That is a vital combination for Florida State. Latson to Timpson will be called a lot this season for the Noles.
12-0 run now for Florida State.
Four turnovers during that stretch for the Eagles.
Kyla Bryant lost the basketball. Bryant, who last year was a shooting guard, now taking on more point guard responsibilities with the turnover.
Take a look there. Bryant was having trouble finding anybody in a maroon jersey. And off the steal, a nice outlet pass to Latson, who then finds Timpson for the lay-in.
Back underway, a foul on the floor called against NC Central. Snoop Turnage, who checks in for Florida State, will be the inbounder for the Noles. The foul going on Terriana Gray. Another foul on the floor, and that might be 2 on Gray.
Latson trying to get to the baseline, trying to get the rim, and then trying to get the baseline to make the pass.
Timpson gets back her own miss, and Viegas, there is just no stopping Carla Viegas right now.
She's got such a quick release on that three-point attempt. It's hard to get out and defend unless you're already there on the closeout.
Leading scorer on the floor for either team, I should say. Bryant puts up the long-range jumper. That bounces around the rim. Another bump on the way in for Tania Latson, and that'll be another foul against the Eagles. Terriana Gray picks up her 3rd personal foul with 4:43 left in the quarter. The Noles leading at home by 11. Viegas is on a heater.
Yeah, Carla Viegas getting it done on both ends. Hits the big 3 and then comes up with a steal on the inbound play. Leads to an easy layup for her teammate KK Timpson. And then Timpson rewards Viegas after the offensive board. Great start for the sophomore from Spain, Carla Viegas. There you see her numbers have picked up over the last 2.5 games.
Picked up considerably, in fact, for Viegas, as Omaria Gordon breaks it down. A quick steal for Bonner, who puts it up off the side of the backboard and will be called for going over the back on the rebound attempt.
And we talked about Florida State this season trying to put a little more pressure on teams defensively. They've always wanted to play fast on the offensive end, but now they've stepped that tempo up on the defensive end as well, and you are seeing that result in the 7 turnovers for North Carolina Central so far early in this game.
And while the Eagles have turned it over 7 times, the Noles have exploded on a 17-0 run over the last 4 minutes. Over that break, Avery Treadwell, Sydney Bowles checking in for the Noles, and that is another turnover by NC Central.
Morgan Callahan just trying to make something good happen for her team. She had gotten into the paint and then was trying to kick out to the corner to an Eagle teammate. Unfortunately, that Eagle teammate went the other direction and they couldn't connect.
Gordon, pull up. Money.
Now you got to get out and guard Amaria Gordon. She's going to knock that down if you leave her that wide open.
Gordon, top 10 in FSU program history in career 3-ball percentage, checks in at 10th, just north of 36%. That's a good look for NC Central, and there to make FSU pay is Shakiria Foster, the freshman guard out of Barnesville, Georgia.
Again, that was created from the playmaking of Morgan Callahan, the senior.
That puts an end to a 20-point run by the Noles. Gordon back the other way, draws contact, and will shoot a couple of free throws.
Take a look here at Amaria Gordon. The defender just was looking to go under that double high ball screen. Gordon just steps behind it, knocks down the big 3. The Eagles have an answer on the other end with a 3 from Foster.
Well, listen, I thought it was interesting speaking with Brooke Wyckoff earlier today, talking about the transformation mentally of an Amaria Gordon, who in the past was more facilitate first and then maybe consider yourself a scorer. Over the last year or so, she has become a primary scoring option herself, and that's changed how she's approached the game.
Yeah, she certainly has. She's averaging 15 points a game here this season. That's the highest in her Seminole career, and she's, again, finally healthy. She spent most of the first 2 years of her career injured and out of the lineup, so great to see her back completely healthy with a full off season of work, and all those efforts in the gym are paying off here for her senior year.
I mentioned her head coach, Brooke Wyckoff. There she is, standing in front of the home bench, 3rd year at the helm here in Tallahassee. Had an interim year standing in for Sue Semrau during the COVID year, and has gotten off to a great start in her head coaching career at her alma mater. Williams tried to tee up Bowles, top of the key. Bowles off the dribble drive penetration, gets the roll.
Nice job from Sydney Bowles. Passed up the 3, probably had a decent look at it, but decided to put it on the floor and get all the way to the rack. Protected the ball nicely, drew some contact, created some separation, finished strong at the rim. The transfer, Sydney Bowles, coming in and making an impact for Florida State here early.
Bowles, an everyday starter her freshman year at Texas A&M. Didn't play as much last year for the Aggies, and you mentioned it, Melissa, has filled a variety of roles as needed for the Noles this year, including in that contest against Sanford, getting the start in place of the ailing Malea Williams.
Yeah, we asked Coach Brooke Wyckoff about her earlier and just talked about her versatility, her ability to guard multiple positions, her ability to knock down the 3, her ability to take you off the dribble, as you see there. Sydney Bowles has been an outstanding addition to this Seminole squad here this season. Ooh, nice block inside there. That was Diana Blake with the block at Tenaya Latson.
Good sequence here for NC Central. A jumper by Bryant, the block by Blake.
Blake, the 6-foot freshman there, doing a nice job just keeping her hands straight up, avoiding the body contact. Denying Tenaya Latson, one of the best players in the country.
So far, the Eagles have been able to keep Tenaya Latson in check, at least in terms of the scorers column. But the bigger issue for the Eagles is the turnovers. A double dribble called against the NC Central squad.
That double dribble will be the 10th turnover of the quarter for the Eagles.
Latson long range, tipped away and controlled by NC Central. And Latson, off the miss, picks the pocket of the sophomore point guard, Kyla Bryant.
Latson has said she wants to step up her defensive game this season, showing there that she's committed to that.
Decent look there for Sydney Bowles, top of the key, kicks away. NC Central's done a nice job corralling rebounds and limiting Florida State on what could be second chance opportunities.
Yeah, Florida State has 3 offensive rebounds, but 9 defensive rebounds for the Eagles.
Holding FSU to just those 3 second chance points. Nice dump down pass inside for Treadwell. Hit back iron, now a tie-up. It will remain with Florida State, but good defense once again by NC Central.
NC Central not making it easy for these Florida State Seminoles. They are challenging every shot, making it hard, even for a player like 6'3" sophomore Avery Treadwell.
Inbounds goes to Malea Latson. Latson doesn't get the roll. She will get her own miss, though, and pulls it back out. Treadwell inside, lays it in.
Such great recognition there by the transfer, Sydney Bowles. Again, had the opportunity at a 3, but an unselfish play. But she saw that Avery Treadwell was matched up against a much smaller defender in the paint and knew her teammate could score with a no move needed.
Sydney Bowles, a player that, to your point, Melissa, Brooke Wyckoff has praised for her unselfishness already in her Florida State career. Now the Noles are running the floor again. Latson trying to make something happen at the logo. That is short. Treadwell on cleanup duty, tacks on a couple more points.
Avery Treadwell running the floor hard. You can't assume that your All-American Malea Latson's going to make every shot. Treadwell gets herself in good position.
And back the other way, Kyla Bryant pulls up for a jumper of her own. NC Central nearly cutting the lead in half now for Florida State after the Noles stepped it out early. Latson still couldn't get a shot to go. Had just the one layup and a trip to the free throw line. But
about that tonight. We'll see how she does. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Kylie. As the third member of our crew mentioned, Melissa, Brooke Wyckoff walking us through the core values of her team, the principles that she wants to see executed here. And I think in terms of effort, you're seeing that already on full display.
Yeah, I think she talked to this team about at shoot-around just about, you know, making sure that they do what they do. That this is a game for Florida State that they have to rely on themselves and motivating themselves and making sure that they've got their own individual goals as to what's going to make them successful here tonight against NC Central.
2 free throws coming for Omaria Gordon. 7 points in the first quarter for OMG. And within the first 20 seconds of the second quarter, already jumping back in the scorers column.
Omaria Gordon coming into the game, averaging 15 points a game. It's the most so far in her Seminole career.
The numbers have continued to grow year in, year out, and you want to play your best basketball as a senior, certainly. Omaria Gordon has taken that and run with the concept.
So is Morgan Callahan for the Eagles, and that was a nice drive to the bucket for her. And then Sydney Bowles in the corner. Couldn't even see her over there.
Taking the corner to the extreme, Sydney Bowles rattles that one in for another 3. FSU's got the 3-ball going here. They're 4 of 6 as a team through the first quarter and a couple of minutes here of the second. More heavy pressure by Florida State trying to disrupt the Eagles on offense, and that is exactly what Snoop Turnage and the Noles will do.
Snoop Turnage was putting great defensive ball pressure on Morgan Callahan. Let's take another look. Gordon knew exactly where her teammate was. Sydney Bowles had to reach high to go get that one and drains it anyway.
33-15 Florida State. Now it's Omaria Gordon in the corner right in front of the Eagles bench. She brings it up top to Bowles. No look pass, Viegas. A rare miss over the last few games for Carla Viegas from beyond the perimeter. Most of her attempts and all of her makes have been from three-point land so far this year. More heavy ball pressure by Florida State. The Eagles do well to break it, and once again, Shakiria Foster is making things happen in the offensive half court for NC Central.
Yeah, Foster has been a bright spot for the Eagles. 7 points, perfect 3 of 3 from the floor in 7 minutes of action.
Back iron, meanwhile, for KK Timpson from the free throw line. And a timeout taken by Terrence Baxter. So the Eagles call timeout here in Tallahassee. And I believe we'll be taking a timeout with them, with the Noles leading by 16 here at the Donald L. Tucker Center. Back here in Tallahassee, we've mentioned him a couple of times. Terrence Baxter is in his first season, officially speaking, as NC Central's head coach. He was the interim head coach a season ago. In fact, Melissa, Kylie mentioned it was sort of thrust into that interim role a month or two before the year began, tried to institute a system. Fortunately, had a lot of veterans on that team. They went 9-3 in the MEAC. They were a 3 seed in the tournament, made it to the semifinals, but he really cut his teeth at the D2 level, and he thinks in due time he can build the Eagles up to be a MEAC champion.
Yeah, I love his energy on the sidelines. Just watching here in the first quarter and a half, seems like a really positive guy over there. Looks like he's a big cheerleader for his players, and it looks like the kind of coach you'd like to play for.
Malea Latson, as we get back underway, makes her second bucket of the game. Had an and one in the first quarter. Florida State has forced 13 NC Central turnovers, and this ball will be going the other way. Off the tie-up, another empty possession by the Eagles. That'll be the 14th turnover now.
I'll make that 15 now as it just updated, so Florida State has been able to convert 19 points off of those turnovers.
And you might be able to keep her quiet for a little bit, but at some point in time, you know 00 in white or garnet or whatever color she's wearing that day is going to get hers.
Yeah, Makayla Latson is a bucket for sure. Now 7 points, 2 assists in just 8 minutes of action for the Noles.
A couple of steals as well for Makayla Latson. Nice dish there to, once again, Shakiria Foster. She's been the hot hand offensively, and she keeps that possession alive. Teeing up her teammate, Kyla Bryant. So on top of being perfect from the floor until that moment, offensively, she also gets an assist.
Yeah, Kyla Bryant is actually the leading scorer on this team so far this season. Averages almost 13 points a game. Carla Viegas is looking to be the leading scorer on this Florida State Seminole team. Now 3 of 4 from beyond the three-point line for 9 points.
And I can promise you, whatever the scouting was on Florida State, leaving Carla Viegas that open was not part of the equation for the Eagles. Travel in the lane, and yet another turnover in response by NC Central.
It is well known, not a hidden fact, that Carla Viegas is a deadly three-point shooter if you look at her numbers. Shooting over 50% now for the season.
And that's after starting 1 for 8 from beyond the perimeter this season. Diaz dos Santos lines one up. And Timpson fighting for the rebound will be called for going over the back of number 15 for NC Central, Diana Blake. First foul on Timpson. FSU's doubled up the Eagles.
Coach Brooke Wyckoff's already been able to go 10 deep in her bench so far in this game, and that's something a little different for the Noles as well, as she's looking to add to that depth this season.
No look. Nice extra pass into the corner for Turnage, who tries to break it down off the dribble. Dishes to Timpson, who hits front iron. And NC Central corrals the boards once again.
Timpson now just 2 of 8 from the floor after that near record-breaking performance of 38 points. Cooled off a little bit here. Ayani Dos Santos going to get whistled for a foul there. There's a little bit too much contact on the sophomore Kyla Bryant.
That'll be the second foul called against Florida State here in this second quarter. 5:16, now 5:14 left in the half. Sha'Carria Foster off the wing. That was knocked away by Malea Williams. It will remain with NC Central.
Malea Williams with those long arms. Denies the passing lane. Looked like Morgan Callahan might have had a little bit of space on that back cut, but Williams closes quickly with those long arms.
Callahan calls her own number down the lane, and Timpson brings down the rebound. Dos Santos back the other way, pushing tempo for Florida State. Williams left alone on the wing, cashes in.
Malea Williams, don't let that 6'4" frame fool you. She is a very good three-point shooter, over 30% from the three-point line. She's got the green light if you leave her open.
One of Cincinnati's leaders in perimeter shooting from a season ago, in fact. 43-20 Florida State. And the bank is apparently open for Kyla Bryant making a deposit here in the second quarter.
Again, started to mention her earlier. She was also a preseason All-MEAC player. She's averaging about almost 13 points a game. Was a 2-time Rookie of the Week last season. Looking to do even bigger and better things this season as a sophomore.
Dos Santos teeing up Viegas. Ooh. And boy, that bailed out NC Central, who got caught behind a screen and gave her another good look.
That was well executed for Florida State. That was a set play call out of the timeout.
And off the inbounds, guess who? Carla Viegas with yet another three.
Take that 4 of 6 from the three-point line for Viegas. Ooh, KK Timpson comes up with the rebound. Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact on that one. She went to the ground, but they're going to whistle her for a travel. That is the first turnover of the game for Florida State. They have forced 16, committed now just 1 in this half.
I mentioned earlier that Florida State's turnover margin is at 9.5. That's top 25 in the NCAA. A plus 15 will certainly help the average out even more. Still plenty of basketball to play, though, here at the Tuck. 3.5 left in the half. And a big swat from guess who? Yeah, that's right, KK Timpson.
Timpson, one of the nation's leaders last season in shot blocking.
Can do a little bit of everything. Foster has been a bright spot for NC Central so far. Couldn't get the three to go. Bowles nearly dribbled it out off her foot. Recollects and tries to dish it to Timpson on the baseline. And we'll see who this...
If she could have had a little bit more vision all the way across, she had Malea Williams wide open in the corner, but Sydney Bowles was being pressured. Credit the Eagles defense for making that one difficult.
Last touch by an Eagle. It'll go back to Florida State. Bulls inbounds to Timpson, who had it knocked out of her hand, saves it, dishes to Williams, who lays it in.
What a play from the senior KK Timpson. Just proof you don't give up on a play ever. Stayed with it after the ball got swatted away. I think she thought she might have gotten fouled as well, but she stays with it and finds her teammate Malea Williams wide open.
That's a long two for Kyla Bryant.
Bryant now with 12 points to lead the Eagles.
Dos Santos gives it up to Timpson. Timpson working on Creech. Spin move and money. And Timpson will make a trip back to the free throw line to tack on perhaps a third point to that play. FSU's made each of their last 3 shots from the floor.
That's 8 points. Now, that is 6 points for KK Timpson, 6 rebounds to go along with that. She was able to finish through the contact there, and Florida State has again doubled up NC Central.
Got the bounce off the free throw. And Timpson, who has been shooting nearly 100% from the charity stripe.
I was just going to comment on that. That was a knock against Timpson early on in her career. Was below 70%, I know, for at least part of her freshman and sophomore years, but really has stepped up that portion of her game. Has made it difficult for teams to want to foul and contest her shots in the paint, as she'll make you pay from the free throw line.
Came into tonight shooting 94% from the line. As Timpson, a foul called on the floor against Florida State, common foul. So it'll be an inbounds for Kyla Bryant. Into Shakiria Foster. And Foster has really done a nice job of creating decent looks for herself and for her teammates.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the 5'8" freshman from Barnesville, Georgia. Makayla Latson, always impressive. Draws the foul there.
Latson, who got off to a slower start offensively, just the 1 bucket in the first quarter. It was an and 1, so 3 points in the first quarter for Tenaya. Already has a couple of made shots here. Will earn a trip to the free throw line to shoot a couple more free throws. So even on a night, Melissa, where Makayla Latson isn't filling it up from the floor, she can still find a way to score.
Yeah, and she's also finding a way to get her teammates involved. She's got 3 assists as well tonight, so she knows that there's going to be nights where she may not be the leading scorer on this team. There's such depth this year that, she may not always be counted on to need to score 25 to 30 points, but she can impact the game not only on the offensive end, but also she's realizing how much she can be a factor on the defensive end as well with this new pressure defense for Florida State.
Off the tie-up, it still remains with NC Central. Foster trying to break the double. FSU will be whistled for the foul.
They're going to give that one to Sydney Bowles. Actually, they're going to say that was on Carla Viegas. Just her first.
NC Central not yet in the bonus. They'll go to the bonus on the next foul called on Florida State. Foster corrals the inbounds pass. Now collides with Bryant. Nearly lost the dribble on the baseline. Having a hard time finding a teammate. It does end up with Bryant, who goes up top to Callahan. Callahan trying to turn the corner. Couldn't get the lay-in to go.
Avery Treadwell come on over and help side to challenge that shot.
Good ball movement by Florida State. It's Latson inside, and Makayla Latson is into double figures.
Latson so quick with the ball in her hands, able to get by a couple of Eagle defenders there, find her way to the front of the rim.
Bryant.
Treadwell giving the Noles some good minutes, a big defensive rebound there.
Viegas, why not?
Really unselfish play there from Makayla Latson. She probably could have taken it one-on-one and made that shot herself, but she knows she's got her shooter in the corner. Viegas, 15 points in the first half.
Meanwhile, nice job by NC Central. Morgan Callahan staying with the play after the ball got knocked away for the moment. Put it back up and earns a trip to the free throw line for the three-point play. FSU, to your point, Melissa, and Carla Viegas throwing haymakers here early in this game, nearly leading by 30 over NC Central. Callahan and company doing all they can to hang tight with the Noles with a minute left in the half. Final minute here in the first half. Latson inside, 3 defenders, doesn't matter.
Maria Gordon steps in with the steal.
Viegas from the wing, too strong. Has already equaled her career high in threes made with 5, 2 away from her career high in points scored, which she equaled in the last game the Noles played against Samford. Had 17 last year against Pitt, 17 again in their last contest. Bryant gets it to go. She's heating up in this quarter. That is 16.
16 for the sophomore Kyla Bryant. She's been impressive here in this second quarter for the Eagles.
7 of 10 from the floor. Florida State can hold for the final shot. It's deflected into the backcourt. Gordon gets it back. Gordon on the drive to the baseline, sticks it off the window and through. And Florida State doubles up the Eagles, Melissa, as they head to the locker room.
3 players for Florida State in double figures here.
We'll send it in for Florida State, and away we go in half number 2 between NC Central and FSU. Sean Davison, Melissa Bruner, Kylie Brennan, our entire crew on hand. And the young lady who needs no introduction, but I'll go ahead and introduce her anyway, Makayla Latson, already in double figures in this game, now with 15 points, 6 of 13 from the floor.
If you're watching and you don't know who Makayla Latson is, where have you been? One of the best players in the country is 0-0 for the Seminoles.
Shakiria Foster nearly got the lay-in to go, and once again, number 10 in that maroon uniform, Melissa, continues to create, hasn't always cashed the shots in, but she's given herself some good looks.
Yeah, I really like the fearlessness that Foster is playing with. She has really come out and impressed me tonight.
Malea Williams with the block. And here comes Florida State looking to run. In case you're just joining us, 17 turnovers forced by the Seminoles. They already have another one, and that has been the other story. That is the 9th three-pointer for the Noles early on now in the third quarter.
The lady here in the Tucker Center, Gloria, that holds up the 3-point shots. I don't know how many threes in yellow she's got over there, but Noles have 9 already, 9 of 16 from the 3-point line.
And Foster lost the handle of that, and that's going to be an over and back violation and yet another turnover. We'll take a second, though, Melissa, to watch Florida State get in transition here.
Yeah, it starts with a nice block from the long arms of Malea Williams. Makayla Latson gets the ball in her hand and then finds her teammate Gordon right there in front of the Seminole bench.
Timpson nearly had the ball knocked away, recollects and sticks it up for another lay-in for number 21 in white. Timpson now approaching double figures in this game with 9.
And again, such balanced scoring for Florida State. Latson with 15, Viegas with 15, Gordon 14, Malea Williams with 7.
Callahan up top, and Timpson stepped on the baseline.
Not sure who will get the credit for that block. I think it was both KK Timpson and Malea Williams. Take another look. Maybe both. And then Timpson thought she was going to be able to tightrope that baseline. No such luck.
Second block for Timpson to go along with 9 points and 6 rebounds. Considering the start that she's been off to, it's one of the few things that hasn't gone her way early on this season. Not sure what the
shot
delay
clock,
is.
I think they reset the shot clock, but I'm not sure that that hit anything. I believe that that shot was blocked by Timpson or Williams, not sure which. So it should not have been reset, so they're going to have to go back and take a look.
It's being scored as a block for Timpson. And so while our officiating crew sorts out the shot clock, that'll count as our under 8 timeout with 8:13 left in the quarter. We'll rejoin the action next. Back here in Tallahassee, KK Timpson got the block right before the media break. And what can KK Timpson do? Just about everything. Rebounds and point scoring, tops in the country, and rebounds per game. And then, of course, I mentioned if you can rebound and you can point score, you're going to rack up some double-doubles. She's got tied for the most in the country so far.
Now on pace this season to break Natasha Howard's long-standing record of 41 career double-doubles. KK Timpson with 34 in her career, and lots of opportunities left.
Lost the handle there, though. Couldn't corral the pass. It skirts off her fingers and out of play.
That is just the second turnover of the game for the Noles. There you see the records that KK Timpson is on pace to break this season for Florida State in her senior season.
And when you can put your name in the record books alongside Natasha Howard and Sue Galcantis, you're doing something right.
Absolutely. A lot of things right for KK Timpson.
Nice flurry of sequences here for NC Central. A couple of buckets and a steal for Callahan, the veteran, trying to take things over for NC Central here in the third quarter.
Morgan Callahan there loses the handle on the ball, and then nice step-through move. Finishes with the left, right around Malea Williams. Callahan now nearing a double-double, 10 points, 8 rebounds for her.
Couple of free throws, meanwhile, for Malea Williams. First one hits back iron for number 22 in white. Graduate student out of Georgetown, Kentucky. We've mentioned that she transferred in from Cincinnati, started her D1 career at Louisville. She'll split the pair of free throws here in Florida State. Once again, establishes a doubled-up lead over NC Central, 70-35.
8 points, 5 rebounds for Malea Williams.
And another block for Timpson.
Yeah, really nice defense there by KK Timpson, and a nice job to keep the ball away.
Latson slashing inside. She'll shoot a couple of free throws.
Malea Latson, 77% free throw shooter this season. On her career, above 80% from the free throw line. One of the best in the nation last year, about almost 85%.
And right on cue.
Of course.
But Malea Latson, one of the leading scorers in the country, tied for being the leading scorer in the ACC along with Hannah Hidalgo, and those two were 1-2 for preseason player of the year in the ACC. Hidalgo named the preseason player of the year, Latson in second. So two tremendous ACC talents.
Latson was pretty much the consensus player of the year, or freshman of the year 2 years ago. Hidalgo pretty much the consensus freshman of the year last year. So interesting to see both of those two now atop their leaderboards in their sophomore and junior seasons.
Traffic collision there by Florida State, trying to direct traffic off the inbounds. Gordon comes away with it. And Viegas has a new career high.
Well drawn up play there. Seminoles knew exactly what they were looking for in Carla Viegas. 6 made threes, a new career high, as well as the 18 points.
So Carla Viegas continues her fine form as Jada Creech will earn a trip to the free throw line, drawing contact.
Jada Creech, not afraid of the contact, takes it right at Malea Williams. Williams gets whistled for just her first personal foul for Florida State. No foul trouble really on either team. I take that back. Foster from the Eagles does have a couple of personal fouls.
And Jada Creech, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, did not play last year as a freshman for NC Central. Has seen some time in every game so far this year. Made a couple of shots on the road in Clemson, the second game of the year for the Eagles.
Missed that shot, but I think they're going to call a lane violation on Florida State. Noles came up with the loose ball rebound. They're going to give Creech another attempt.
And she makes good on it. Came into this game shooting 50% from the charity stripe, did Creech. 6:15 left here in quarter number 3 in Tallahassee. Latson dishes Timpson. NC Central brings the double, and Timpson will head to the free throw line.
What court vision there from Malea Latson. Had 2 defenders there trying to trap to get the ball out of her hands, and she still finds a way to not only see KK Timpson, but also thread the needle to Timpson, who was then fouled on the backside.
Six assists in this game for Malea Latson and counting. So even though that nice find won't go down as an assist for 0-0, she does give Timpson a chance to cash in at the free throw line. And Timpson, single game ranks this season, 38 points against Samford. That's the 3rd most in a game. Also made 15 shots in that game. That's the 3rd most in a game. And then in the opener, the 22 rebounds is 3rd most in a single game in FSU history. So Timpson has been active in the history books already in this, her final year with Florida State. Gordon running the floor. She got bumped on the way up.
Gordon had her mind set. It looked like from the minute she took that outlet pass, she had her mind made up. She was going to get to the rim and try to finish through the contact.
And Melissa, just to sort of speak to that, Brooke Wyckoff told us that when Omaria Gordon's playing her best, she is in attack mode. She's not overthinking anything, not allowing anything to cloud her mind, except, hey, I need to go attack to score. And then off of that, depending on what the defense gives her, then you determine who to facilitate to, if you need to facilitate, or if that's not an option, what do you do with the basketball? And she said she's got the basketball IQ to make those decisions. and she's really playing her best basketball in her senior year.
She certainly is, and she just is a perfect fit here at Florida State. Kylie mentioned early on in her interview with Brooke Wyckoff about attack and disrupt, and that's kind of the mentality here. Attack on the offensive end, disrupt on the defensive end, and Amaria Gordon fits both of those words perfectly for Florida State. She exemplifies that for the Noles.
Another rejection by KK Timpson, who now skies for another rebound. Timpson, who continues to track toward perhaps another double-double here this evening, now has 8 boards to go along with her 11 points. 78-36 Florida State, and Bonner's going to get called for her 3rd personal foul on the reach.
Actually, they're going to give that to Snoop Turnage. I think Maya Bonner was clean, but Snoop Turnage from off the ball was reaching in, trying to swat it away as Bryant was trying to dribble to the rim.
So that's a break for Bonner, who turned away immediately in disgust, thinking that she might have to check back off the floor. That's a traveling violation by NC Central, and that is turnover number 20.
Florida State has taken those 20 turnovers and got 26 points off of those turnovers, and that will have to make head coach Brooke Wyckoff pleased with what she's seeing from her Noles on the defensive end.
Turnage and Latson bring it up into the half court for Florida State. Bowles off the give from Latson, gives it back to Tanaya in the corner. Inside to Timpson, and one for KK. Good ball movement by Florida State, and Timpson will head to the charity stripe.
Yeah, really nice to see the Noles working to get the ball inside to KK Timpson, get her some post touches, and let her go to work in the paint.
And Melissa Brooke Wyckoff told us that Timpson really embodies the selflessness that you desire to have on your roster. Oftentimes, she's the last player to touch the ball offensively. She's waiting for that ball to come to her, and so she makes it count right there.
Well, like perfect case in point. She had an opportunity in their last game to tie the school scoring record on a breakaway, and she told her teammate, Sydney Bowles, to go ahead and take it. She didn't want the points, and Bowles did. The fans here were a little bit confused, but Timpson admitted afterwards, she's like, I told her to just take the layup. It was fine.
Another swat by Timpson. She knocks out another ball. It remains with NC Central, but everything is going Florida State's way so far. As we take a look at some of the storylines here this evening in Tallahassee, Florida State came into tonight 8th in the ACC, shooting 34% from beyond the perimeter. Tonight, 10 of 18, and for those of you who don't want to do the math at home, that's 55.6%. Carla Viegas has led the charge for the Noles from beyond the perimeter. 18 points, a career high, both in points and in terms of three-pointers made in a game. FSU is humming here and proving that just about anybody can hurt you, and that's what makes this team dangerous. With more on that, let's check in with Kylie Brennan.
Yeah, Sean, earlier today at shoot-around, Timpson Latson told me what sets this team apart from other teams she's played on, even here at FSU, is everyone can make a bucket. You see the spread tonight. You saw it at Samford, even in her absence, and you saw it at FAMU. And tonight we have 4 players for the Noles in double figures. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Kylie. Indeed, we do. It's Carla Viegas with those 18 points leading the charge for FSU offensively. Omaria Gordon and Makayla Timpson each with 16, and KK Timpson with 13 points to go along with 8 rebounds. And oh, by the way, 5 blocks, Melissa. She is trending toward perhaps a new career high in rejections.
Yeah, KK Timpson, I look down at her stat sheet and I see all those numbers. The other one that impresses me, she's got 3 assists. You don't think of a post player that passes the ball out a lot. KK Timpson, though, we said it earlier, she is unselfish, and she's showing that by the fact that she has 3 assists. Second only to Makayla Latson and Omaria Gordon. Makayla Latson with 7 assists to go along with her 16 points.
Latson's career high in assists was 9 a season ago against Syracuse, and if you're keeping score for Timpson, she had 4 assists against North Florida in the opener. That is her career high. So Timpson's got a chance to set a few career highs today, even though it hasn't been her most blistering night offensively, finding other ways to impact the game. And I think it's interesting, Melissa, Brooke Wyckoff mentioned to us, with a game like this, a team that's coming in that's still trying to find themselves in NC Central, the biggest thing that you can hope for as a head coach is to just take a step forward. And in a few different ways, it looks like Florida State's done that.
Yeah, I think, Florida State has made some progress. Again, it's those little things that they're wanting to focus on. They want to be disruptive on the defensive end, and I think they certainly have done that, again, by those 20 turnovers that they forced. They want to continue to attack the basket, and they've shown that by 36 points in the paint.
Not much good there for NC Central, and it will be a shot clock violation. Actually, it's not even going to be a shot clock violation. Credit Latson with the steal. Turnage off the shot fake. That is swatted away. Bonner on cleanup duty lays it in.
Maya Bonner with her first 2 points of the game. Nice job rebounding from out of area for Maya Bonner, the junior from California.
8-0 run for Florida State. Blake with the rebound up top. There's another 3. And Kyla Bryant has been really good offensively for NC Central.
Now, really good as defined by 19 points to lead all scorers here tonight.
We'll see who that was last touched by. Makayla Latson thinks it was last touched by an Eagle.
I think I might agree with Makayla Latson. The officials don't agree. They're going to say it was last touched by Maya Bonner, who had jumped over everybody out there on the floor. She was the last to touch it. Ooh, and then another turnover. Makayla Latson just runs under that one.
Another trip to the free throw line coming for Makayla Latson. An and one opportunity for double zeros. It would pull her to 19 points in this game if she does convert. 4 of 5 tonight from the free throw line is Latson.
That foul on the freshman, Terriana Gray. That is now 4 personal fouls on Gray.
Gray, who spent considerable time off the floor, racked up 3 fouls quickly in the first half. Checks back in, picks up a 4th, and we'll see how her head coach Terrence Baxter manages that situation with Gray still in here and the Eagles operating on offense. It's Gray 13 operating with the basketball, trying to make her way around Turnage, and Snoop Turnage will be called for the reach. That'll be the second foul on Turnage. (85-39) Florida State. And Gray will be calling for the over and back violation. Another empty possession for NCCU, who got the scoring started in this one, scored the first 4 points of the game, and then the Noles have just been on an onslaught since. Avery Treadwell.
Noles have outscored North Carolina Central 22-8 here in the third quarter. Gordon,
Tie up.
Yeah, Gordon knifes her way into the paint. A little too strong off the glass. Treadwell there to try to come up with the loose ball rebound, but is tied up and the ball will go over to the Eagles of North Carolina Central.
And you mentioned the lopsided score here in this third quarter. 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes for North Carolina Central. Morgan Callahan bringing it into the half court and giving it up to Kyla Bryant. Bryant has been the leading scorer for the Eagles and their offensive efforts. Callahan spins around Treadwell, short arms the lay-in attempt, and back comes Florida State. Gordon comes to a jump stop in the lane, looking for some help, fights through the double, gives it up to Turnage. Turnage in the lane, that is short. Got a hand in there though, and Snoop Turnage, after coming up short on the lay-in, goes to work defensively, and Omaria Gordon cashes in from the wing. Complimentary basketball at its finest for Florida State.
Unselfish play there by Snoop Turnage. Could have taken it herself, but knew that she had her teammate, one of the best three-point shooters on this team, and Omaria Gordon wide open. Gordon 3 of 3 from the free throw line, three-point line today.
19 points for Omaria Gordon, and that is certainly worth another look.
Let's take another look here. Again, loose ball. Nice pass across the lane. Snoop Turnage dishing it out to Omaria Gordon. Noles now 11 of 19 from the three-point line. If you're doing the math at home, that's just a smidge under 58%. That'll make the Seminole coaching staff pleased.
Bowles off the shot fake, dribble drive. Dos Santos will earn a trip to the free throw line.
And I love the fact that the Seminoles, despite shooting the ball so well from the three-point line, they pass them up every now and then to go ahead and get an easier shot. That's what you saw Sydney Bowles do there, a little shot fake. She probably could have pulled the trigger. Instead, gets to the paint and then finds the dish to Hayani Dos Santos. She'll have a chance to earn her first points of the game. Seminoles on a little 13-3 run over the last 4 minutes.
Dos Santos, the JUCO transfer who hails from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Made a three. Had 8 points in FSU's debut against North Florida this season. Splits the pair of free throws. Here does the transfer from Gulf Coast State. No points in the last couple of minutes now for NC Central, who trails by 50 to the Noles.
North Carolina Central just one of their last 10 from the floor.
Tiggett too strong, and that'll remain with the Eagles. Omaria Gordon likely will be called with the bump.
Blake in there working hard on the glass was fouled by Omaria Gordon.
Tiggett to the corner. And on the drive, Bryant lays it in for a couple more points. Bowles, nice dump down to Treadwell, who can't cash it in. Gordon, though, there for the offensive rebound, and she will shoot a couple of free throws.
Take another look at that nifty play. I believe that was Morgan Callahan there, driving the baseline, finishing on the left side over Avery Treadwell. Florida State now with second chance points that time from Omaria Gordon. Florida State technically is being out-rebounded right now, 31-29 on the glass. North Carolina Central with the edge.
And Omaria Gordon is creeping up on her career high in points. That was 24 a season ago against Syracuse. She now stands at 21. Tiggett can't get it to go off the glass. Dos Santos brings it down and pushes tempo for Florida State with the right hand, tries to lay it in, and back the other way come the Eagles. Sha'Carria Foster now working inside. She'll shoot a couple.
Foster showing she's explosive with the ball in her hands as well. And got the ball in transition and then took it right at the Seminoles. Had a little nice crossover there. She couldn't finish through the contact. She'll have a chance to go to the free throw line here, and sitting at 9 points. Could potentially be the third Eagle in double figures.
Indeed she is, and with that made free throw early on in Sha'Carria Foster's career, that is a new career high, 10 points for the youngster who, her high school career at Lamar County High School, scored over 2,000 points, 2,316 to be specific. And when you take a look at all the high school prospects who came in to college this past year, that was top 100 amongst all of them in terms of scoring the basketball.
Yeah, and I've been impressed so far with what we've seen from her. Foster's done a nice job in just her 6th game on the collegiate level.
A lot to be impressed about. Meanwhile, for Florida State, who leads by 49, Treadwell tees up a three. Nothing doing there, and the quarter clock will tick to a close. The win firm up, and Timpson has been rejecting balls left and right while also working on yet another double-double. Collision in the lane. I believe it'll be Sha'Carria Foster calling for the foul.
Latson was trying to split a couple of defenders. Was fouled in the act of shooting.
And there's the numbers for Carla Viegas. 18 points, 6 of 9 from three-point land. And then for Timpson, 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks, in addition to 3 assists and a couple of steals.
KK Timpson definitely filling up the stat sheet tonight here in Tallahassee.
Literally the only thing she has not done tonight is tee up a three.
We've seen her do that a few times.
We have seen her give it a go, yes. The night is still young. Callahan blew by Florida State, and on the hard take to the basket will be whistled, I believe, for the offensive foul.
That foul going to be on Creech. It'll be her 4th.
Viegas gives it back up to Timpson, to Latson. And Latson splits 2 defenders and lays it in. Latson approaching her average on the season now with 23 points.
She's got a ways to go if she's going to get to her career high. 36, I believe.
And that came against Florida last year, who, by the way, is FSU's next opponent.
Take another look at that last bucket from Latson. Just so athletic, finishing at the rim. Nearly unstoppable with the ball in her hands if she gets ahead of steam going to the basket.
Bryant short on the 3. Nice offensive rebound by NC Central.
That's Blake again. Yeah, on the offensive glass. She's done a nice job rebounding the ball.
They continue to out-rebound Florida State. That has been the surprise in this game so far. And off the second chance opportunity, Kyla Bryant's going to shoot a couple free throws.
A little bit of isolation there for Kyla Bryant. It's a new season high for her. Chance to add more from the free throw line.
Bryant looking to be the first to 20 points for the Eagles, and will be.
I've been impressed with this sophomore Kyla Bryant, you can see why she was an all preseason MEAC selection. This is an Eagle team that was picked to finish 4th in the MEAC. They certainly have some really nice pieces.
Great work there by Malea Williams coming in.
Oh.
But I guess she stepped on the sideline. Yeah, she's looking at her foot.
She stayed put on the sidelines and tried to claim that she did not step on the line. Gotta love that from the graduate transfer, Malea Williams. Pleading her case to no avail.
Gotta try, though.
Absolutely. She gets an A for effort on that one.
Tiggett trying to work around Viegas, lays it off the side of the backboard. And the Spaniard brings it down and gives it up to Latson. Latson dumps it off to Timpson. Heady decision by Makayla Timpson, who has assist number 8.
Yeah, we got to put her on double-double watch as well. 23 points and 8 assists. Timpson now with 15 points and 8 rebounds. Got to find a way to get a couple more for KK.
Bryant, nifty move, working around the defender. She has been the bright spot all night long for the Eagles.
Certainly has 23 points now for Kyla Bryant.
Good look in the corner for Malea Williams. Too strong, though, on the 3-ball attempt. And Dos Santos will be called for going over the back. (97-46) Florida State here in Tallahassee. 7:23 left in regulation. Back here in Tallahassee, 7:23 left to play. Florida State well on their way to going 4-1, but that player right there, Kyla Bryant, having a heck of a night. And Melissa, she's shown that she plays her best basketball against Power 4 teams. The uptick in the scoring is impressive.
Yeah, you love it when players step up in big games, and Kyla Bryant on the big stages is really getting it done for this Eagle squad. Love to see that increase of her numbers. She's been impressive tonight for North Carolina Central.
And there's Bryant with an assist, finding Jada Tiggett down low for the lay-in. The assist numbers don't drop off at all against the higher level competition. The only thing that does drop off is the rebounding numbers, which, again, when you're taking on bigger, more physical teams than the ones that you're accustomed to maybe playing in the group of 5 non-conference, type schools, or the mid-major type schools, I should say, you're going to struggle a little bit more to rebound the basketball. To NC Central's credit, though, they've done a nice job of that here tonight.
Yeah, certainly have. We mentioned it. They're actually out-rebounding Florida State 34-32 on the glass. Both teams with 13 offensive boards, but a couple more defensive rebounds for NC Central.
Couple of free throws here for KK Timpson.
Florida State as a whole shooting the ball extremely well tonight, including over 84% from the free throw line, make it 22 of 26 from the line for the Noles. Should get 52% from the three-point line as well for Florida State. Big reason why they're about to break the 100-point mark here.
Bryant trying to break it down. Bowles got a hand on that pass, and the three-ball attempt by Morgan Callahan was an air ball. Florida State will take over possession of the basketball.
Tiggett diving hard, takes out our cameraman. Hope everybody's okay under the basket over there. North Carolina Central still hustling, trying to make those plays.
Williams with a big offensive rebound and stick back off the Timpson miss.
Malea Williams now in double figures, 10 points for her, 7 rebounds.
And for a Florida State team that came into this game averaging 96.8 points per game, top 10 in the country, this is their third time scoring over 100 points early on in this season.
Florida State ranking 8th in the country in scoring. This game will certainly help that scoring average.
Another rebound for Malea Williams, and Latson pushes pace back the other way. Over 2 defenders, gets the floater to go, and Makayla Latson has hit 25 points.
Latson just so hard to guard one-on-one. So crafty with the ball in her hands and able to finish through multiple players. There's another rebound for KK Timpson. Might have been a block for Malea Williams as well.
Latson finds Timpson, and that is just such a great find by Makayla Latson, who now equals her career high in assists with her 9th.
Sean, I'm not sure there's a more dynamic scoring duo than those two between Latson and Timpson, both averaging almost nearly 20 points a game. That's a tough matchup for any opponent. What vision by Makayla Latson to see that and then thread the needle between those defenders. 9 assists for Latson to go along with the 25 points. So we got a couple of players that are on track for double-doubles here.
3 actually, with Malea Williams a couple rebounds away from a potential double-double. Williams checking off the floor though for Florida State. Timpson and Latson remain in. That's a traveling violation on Jada Creech.
Creech had the right idea. She had made the right move, just needed to go finish at the rim. She had faked out the Seminole defense and had a scoring lane. Don't think she expected to be quite that open.
FSU's made each of their last 3 shots. They're on an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Bowles back up top to Latson. Latson tees up Turnage. Another 3 for Florida State. It is their 12th as a team, shooting well over 50% from the perimeter.
10 players have played in the game for Florida State, and all 10 players have now scored for the Noles.
Latson sold out on the steal and gave a scream of disgust when she couldn't pick the basketball away from the Eagles. And so what does she do? She keeps it herself, drives right down the lane, and lays it in.
27 now, 10 of 20 from the floor for Latson, and she does have 10 assists now off that last pass to Snoop Turnage. So double-double for Makayla Latson.
And a new career high in assists for 0-0. Bryant swings it back up top. Callahan on the drive.
I think that was blocked by KK Timpson. Creech right there to grab the rebound and then was fouled. Let's see who got her. There's the block. Callahan thought she had created space, and KK Timpson gets a hand on it.
And that is another career high that has either been equaled or fallen for Florida State. Block number 6 for Timpson. That equals her most. She's recorded 6 blocks in a game now 5 times in her Garnet and Golden career. She'll sub out to the bench. So if I'm not mistaken, Melissa, if she doesn't check back in, that's a rebound shy of a double-double.
It will be a rebound shy if she's done. 19 points, 9 rebounds for KK Timpson. Might have to save the double-double for another night.
That ball does everything but drop for Malea Latson. Bryant still working hard on both sides of the floor, puts it on the ground. And my opponent will be called for the foul. It'll be a couple of free throws, I believe, coming here for Bryant. Indeed it will. FSU puts NC Central in the bonus. Makayla Bryant, for those who might be wondering, creeping up on her career high in points scored. That's 26 a season ago against the Dolphins of Jacksonville. Those 2 free throw makes puts her at 25.
Again, we said she's been impressive from the start for the Eagles. Got a bright future ahead of her for this squad.
Turnage for 3. 110 points for Florida State. Scored a program record 119 in the opener against North Florida. And Snoop Turnage will be called for the foul.
It's going to send Morgan Callahan through the free throw line. As aggressive as she's been, surprised that she's only been to the free throw line 1 time tonight.
Misses the front end, does Callahan, who comes into tonight as a 38% free throw shooter.
Short on both of those, didn't quite have enough legs.
Inside 3 minutes left. Florida State swings it to Bonner, now back up top to Latson. $10 left. Bowles inside. Spin move will earn a trip to the free throw line. Doesn't get the roll. The Bowles will shoot a couple.
A bit of a quiet night for Sydney Bowles, but you see there the versatility that she has. She's able to play with her back to the basket a little bit. 6-foot guard that allows Florida State, again, just another scoring option, both outside the perimeter as well as the ability to post up a guard in the paint. It's not something you see a lot from players like Amaria Gordon or Malea Latson, but Bowles, just a different type of player that gives, again, another scoring option for Florida State.
And not a player that you want to foul if you're an opponent. She is perfect from the free throw line so far this season. She'll be called for the foul there, and it'll be Shakiria Foster who will be shooting a couple of free throws. Foster, who going back to her high school career, I mentioned all the points she scored, was actually the first female student athlete in Georgia to land a name, image, and likeness deal. Local restaurant in her home community.
Love it.
Sponsored her, so a groundbreaker in the Peachtree State.
And I think Terrence Baxter has a lot of really good pieces from what we've seen. Again, a little outmatched against the Power 4 team in the Florida State Seminoles. But this is going to be a competitive squad come MEAC conference play.
A bobble there by Malea Latson. It's been a good night for Tanai and for a lot of Florida State's roster. That a rare turnover. That'll just be the 4th on the Noles as a team. They have forced 26, though. That equals a season high in forced turnovers for Brooke Wyckoff's squad. offensive foul on the floor. That'll go against Diana Blake. (112-55) inside 2 minutes. Latson lays in another, approaching 30 points in this game.
Latson just makes it look so easy. We all know it's not, but you watch her with the ball in her hands and knife through defenders and finish at the rim. Makes it look so simple.
Latson, who had a hard time getting a shot to drop in the first quarter, shooting 50% from the floor now. Treadwell with the rebound, and down it comes with Latson. Pull up. And when it's going your way, it's going your way. Latson banks in the three.
It's a 30-burger for Tania Latson. 32 points to lead all scorers.
And Latson is 3 away from her career high. High off the glass and good. You get the feeling that's where it's going to end for Tania Latson tonight. 1 point shy of her career high, with a new career high in assists. Melissa, what a night for Florida State across the board.
Yeah, 34 points and 10 assists for Tania Latson. I'd say that's a good night's work on a Monday. It's a nice round of applause here from the faithful Tucker Center crowd. I like what they're seeing.
Good day at the office for Latson and the Noles, who, by the way, Melissa, have equaled their program record, 119 points tonight. We'll see if they have any chance to tack onto it. Foster off the window. And there will be a 5-second differential between shot and game clock here for Florida State. So the Noles might set a new program record in points yet. Dos Santos fouled on the way up.
Or is that a charge? Which way did they call that? Actually going to call that a charge.
So it's an offensive foul on Dos Santos. And for Florida State, who's made each of their last 3 shots and 8 of their last 10, that might be where it ends. Amaya Bonner pulls it back out for the Noles, and Brooke Wyckoff held up one hand. You have to imagine FSU will drain out the clock here inside the final 10 seconds, but a dominant and decisive performance by FSU tonight results in a 119-57 victory over North Carolina Central.
Yeah, really impressive.